Well, we've got a problem, and her name is Pam Bondi. A dazed and confused Attorney General Pam Bondi went on Fox News, held a press conference, just making things up, flat out fiction. We are going to look at the woman who seeks to compete with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt to be the most dishonest mouthpiece of the Trump administration. First and foremost, super, super simple. A woman named Riley Gaines, a swimmer, has been made sort of the champion of the anti-trans sports movement, held up as a victim who, were it not for, quote, men and women's sports, Trump's term, not mine, were it not for, quote, men and women's sports, she might be an Olympic champion or something like that. Here is Pam Bondi on Fox News saying that Riley Gaines made it to the Olympics, but because of trans, unfair things happened. Fact check, Riley Gaines never made it to the Olympics.
We want to restore the records of these young women. You know, these women lost records. One didn't go to regionals, one didn't go to state, all because of a boy. All of these records should be restored, not only in Maine, but around the country, of these young women. You know, Riley Gaines started training for swimming when she was 4 years old. She made it to the Olympics. A lot of this around the country is being taken away from young women now because boys are competing in women's sports. And it's more than that. It's a safety issue. They are completely changing clothes, getting nude in young women's bathrooms. Try being the parents of these young women. It's ridiculous what they're doing. They're going in the restrooms, they're going in the locker rooms. Our young women throughout this country should not have to go through this. And under President Trump's directive, we're going to fight to keep women safe.
Yeah. So anyway, Riley Gaines never made it to the Olympics, just a flat out lie. She tied for 5th place in an NCAA swim meet. And that is the truth. But it doesn't matter to Pam Bondi. And of course, it gets worse. More substantively, Pam Bondi was pressed during a press conference she gave right after this Fox News appearance about the deportation of Abrego Garcia. And a reporter asked, where is the evidence? You will notice that Pam Bondi does not assert any of the evidence.
Topic over the past few weeks, Kilmar Abrego Garcia in Maryland. He's in a prison now in El Salvador. He was sent there. You insist, the president, everybody in the administration insists that he is MS-13. It appears that there's not going to be any sort of trial. He's not going to come back. DHS said he would be arrested and redeported if he comes back. Why not show the American people the evidence that he's MS-13 so they can make an informed decision? And that goes the same with this Henry Josue Santos, who was picked up in Virginia, who is now presumably going to be deported as well. Why not show the public the evidence?
Get ready for condescension and anger, but no evidence.
Well, he is an illegal alien who has been living illegally in our country from El Salvador. ICE testified. An immigration judge ruled he was a member of MS-13. An appellate judge ruled he was a member of MS-13. Hard stop. He should not be in our country. He was deported. They needed one additional step in paperwork, but now MS-13 is characterized as they should be, as an FTO, as a foreign terrorist organization. So he is not coming back to our country. President Bukele said he was not sending him back. That's the end of the story. If he wanted to send him back, we would give him a plane ride back. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None. He would have come back, had one extra step of paperwork, and gone back again. But he's from El Salvador, he's in El Salvador, and that's where the president plans on keeping him.
The evidence, we're not going to see the evidence?
We have the transcripts from the court hearings. I'll be glad to give you the court hearings from 2019, what we have, sure.
That's right. Saying someone's undocumented isn't proof of criminal activity. And then she says, well, ICE testified that Abrego Garcia was MS-13, except there wasn't actually any testimony. If you go back and you look at the transcripts, first of all, she's talking about 2019. It's an ICE memo. And the memo is based on what a confidential informant allegedly told a detective. There were no witnesses. there was no cross-examination, and there was no due process. It's all a house of cards. They're making it all up. We then get to the next line that they love using, which is, even if he came back, he'd be immediately deported.
Illegal that was shipped out to El Salvador, had been living in Maryland. It's a hot topic. Wall Street Journal editorial board summarizes it the following way. It says, Mr. Trump would be smarter to play the long game. He has many much bigger issues than the fate of one man that will come before the Supreme Court. By taunting the judiciary in this manner, he's inviting a rebuke on cases that carry far greater stakes, end quote. What they're saying is keep your powder dry for now. Don't blow it on this guy. What do you think about that?
Well, we did the right thing. It was one additional step in paperwork that needed to be taken. Now he is declared as a foreign transnational gang member. So, Bill, even
Declared by whom?
even if President Bukele said, we'll send him back, all that would happen is one more step in paperwork and he would go right back to El Salvador because he is an MS-13 member. ICE testified to that. There was a witness testimony. There was an immigration judge who testified in 2019. There was an appellate judge. All right.
So now she goes into the same lies. Again, there was no witness testimony at his 2019 hearing. It was an ICE memo, supposedly from a confidential informant. Okay. But here's the critical thing that they're getting wrong. He would immediately be deported. No, he wouldn't. He would be subject to deportation. And nobody that I know on the left is saying that people who are here undocumented should not be subject to deportation. Everybody who claims asylum and is given a court date is subject to deportation. All of it with the caveat that it is depending on the outcome of your hearing. That is not he steps back in and is immediately sent back. It's, well, depending on the outcome of the judicial process that he's entitled to, it may be that he has to leave the country. And then I would say that's due process. That's the decision that was made. All right. Finally, later in the day, Bondi also grotesquely suggests that the family of Abrego Garcia is better off without him.
Maryland is safer because he is gone, and that woman that he is married to and that child he had with her, they are safer tonight because he is out of our country and sitting in El Salvador where he belongs.
With a straight face, it's sort of like a family improvement plan called deportation. Really nuts. No clear evidence, no trial, no testimony, and a complete subjugation of public accountability. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what the Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get the Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out the Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.